Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to take a look at my collaboration knife with Matt Chase of Hogtooth Knives. We will look at the lucky number 7 giveaway knives. That's 7 giveaway knives that will be given away next Wednesday for the midweek supplemental. We'll talk all about that. And then topic of conversation, what'd you get for Christmas? I want to know. It's like... it's like I become a child again, making the phone call. I used to make the phone call to 4 or 5 friends, Davey, Ronnie, and Adam. Hey guys, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? I got the Millennium Falcon. You got the Millennium Falcon. So that kind of conversation, except all about knives. So we're going to do that tonight. And then we'll take a look at some Knife Life news, time permitting, and that kind of thing. I hope you guys are all doing great. Happy New Year. I love the early time of year. It's very full of optimism for the year to come, all these things that can happen. So I'm looking forward to a lot of great things happening here this year. Dave, how's it going, sir? Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Bob's rocking the Night Horse and Night Core. Welcome to the party. Well, thank you, sir. I do love the Night Horse. Man, that knife, I carried it today. And man, it's so sweet. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Never Enough Knives, 007. Good to see you here, sir. Happy New Year's, Junkies, he says. Happy New Year to you, sir. Let me turn up my volume here. But I guess it's just me I'm hearing anyway. Will B, how's it going, sir? Bob, Jim, fellow nuts. Greetings, he says. And I think those are two together. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Jay McConnell, how's it going, Jay? Good to have you. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies, he says. Well, good evening to you. Hero Sticks, how's it going? Here we go. Best live of the week. Thank you, sir. Happy New Year, evening, and cheers to all. Hero, I hope you got your box at long last, sir. Brandon Sutton, evening, Bob, Jim, and everyone else. Good to have you here, Brandon. I like the eye shine on your little dog there. Acid Test Kids, good to have you here, Acid. Good evening, Bob, and chat. He's applauding. He presumably is applauding. Ooh, sorry. ATK Shaka. Is that the Shaka? What's ATK? ATK. I'll know in a minute. It'll come to me. Chris, how's it going? Blade Ogre, good to have you here, sir. I hear the count is still at 9. Michael Morgan, good evening, Bob and Jim, he says, with a top hat. I love the top hat, man. Professor EDC, good to have you here with us, Professor EDC. Happy New Year to you, sir. Bob, Jim, fellow Yankees, Happy New Year, everyone. Best wishes for everyone. Thank you, man. Best wishes to you, sir. Acid Test Kids says, are you aware there is a pretty famous DJ Bobby D? No way. That's funny because when I was a younger, that's what it was. I'd say, I'd either be MC Bobby D or DJ Bobby D. I did not know that, but that's cool. I already like his work. Edge Lab Knives. Good to have you here, Edge Lab. Good evening, he says. I like your crossed knives there. A compelling image always. Good to have you here. Bob, let's see, Dikema. Good to have you here, Bob. Great name, of course. Hello, all, he says. Well, hello, sir. All gussied up in your tie. Stephen Reardon. Of Reardon Metal. Happy New Year's, guys, he says. Well, Happy New Year to you, Mr. Reardon. Drive Strength. Good evening, sir. Rocking the Amtech tonight. I am indeed. That will be in the, I'll be showing that off in the, in a few minutes when we talk about Christmas things. But here is here's the trainer. So cool. This thing is really cool. And, well, I'll tell you all about it. I have some feelings. They're all good. Some of them mixed, oddly, but not in any way about the knife. Hero says, receive, my friend, sending another box your way soon. News to my, but not news to my ears. Music to my ears. He always, Hero Stick sends me these big boxes of amazing knives, up to 10 or something, 10 or so. And you're the beneficiary of it too, because I get to post close-up videos of these really cool things. Anarchy, good to have you here, Anarchy. Love the room's decor, he says. Well, I like your avatar. That's pretty cool too. Yes, this is my wall of fame. I've got a lot of great things, and a lot of those are historical and saw action at one time or another. Byron Kennedy says, Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, Byron, it's great to have you. Happy New Year, sir. 2023 Thursday Night Knives. Quite a holiday haul on the DeMarco Ranch. Thanks for the share. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good holiday. The Knife Inquisitor. Good to have you here, Knife Inquisitor. Hello, Bob, Jim, and fellow knife junkies. Inquisitor or the Knife. I'll call you Inquisitor. Good to have you here, man. I'm trying to figure out what that avatar. Oh, it's a Gato. I see it. He's kind of a little bit what do you call it? Camouflage. That's right. That's the word. That's well, that's a quote from Apocalypse Now, but that's a one-word quote, so it doesn't count. All right. I think it might be time for a pocket check. As Dave alluded to before, I am rocking the Night Horse. I was just thinking this morning, turned into a little bit of a snob as we do when we get older, or as we do when we grow in a certain facet of enthusiasm, mine being knives, obviously. And I was thinking, man, I can't remember the last time that I carried for over a week in my front right pocket, that coveted spot, a $30 knife. Because, you know, I have a lot of expensive knives with fancy materials that I like to carry because they're little works of working art in my pocket, but so is this. And I cannot believe that they're charging $30 for this. Or you can get a $180 version of it in a titanium frame lock, which I am strongly considering because I love this knife that much. This is a Dirk Pinkerton design. It is his modernized take on the Spanish Navaja. So it's got that Spanish clip point, that beautiful long flat clip with that deep reaching but angular kind of belly, and that horn shaped handle. Oof, it's beautiful. And this one is it's got a long blade, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, 4.6 inches. I will call it 4.5 inches. That is a really nice length for a for this kind of knife. I like 4-inch blades. I like 3.5 to 4-inch blades, but if you're gonna go a little bit over 4, I'm happy about that. You know, I stop at 7.5 inches with this Navaja. You know, the Espada XL. My voice has been cracking all day. My girls have been laughing at it. So now you get to laugh at it. On bearings, incredibly smooth, very, very smooth and sturdy feeling. This G10 is nicely contoured and then textured and milled with this sort of gill pattern. Well, it's not someone called it a gill, like gills like a shark. I think it may have been KC. And now that I have it, it actually reminds me of the sort of waves in horn, like steer horn. So I think of these more like, but they're still organic markings. All right. And just a beautiful design from Dirk Pinkerton. And most of the, no, that's not true. I was going to say most of the Pinkertons I know are Wharncliffes, but that's not true at all. Most of the, I have 3 production Pinkertons besides this, and they're all Wharncliffes of one sort or another, but he does so many other things. Ooh, I like that one, says Anarchy. Anarchy, this, if you want this one, I just realized this when I bought it. It's a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive, so you cannot get this knife anywhere else, but you can get it in this tan color, green, you know, olive drab and black G10, or the titanium version on Blade HQ. It's so freaking awesome. That's a great knife. I keep mine under my pillow. Oh, dude. Will, I hope you sleep very calmly, or that you're joking. If you're not, man, major respect, but be careful. Oh my gosh, that's a big time nightmare of mine, is getting into bed and forgetting that I have a knife in my pocket, and then it comes out during sleep, and all that implies. I am a listless sleeper, so maybe that's more of a possibility for me. Will be. What color is your handle? Did you get the titanium one, or do you have the G10? Because man, these things, like, I immediately kind of went into Dave mode. I was like, I want each version that this comes in. It's so awesome, because I know Dave gets excited about a knife. He buys all the versions of it. And I think he may have done that with this one. He and I have similar tastes. The tastes of good taste. Will B says, nah, it's under there with my Ronin too. Oh my God. Well, this show does attract a certain set, and I appreciate that, Will. You are truly a knife junkie. I appreciate that. Dion Page, good to have you here, Dion. Hello, knife junkies. King Junkie and Jim. SRK, okay, Survival Rescue Knife in CPM 3V and Recon 1 in CTS XHP. What a great combination. I've been on a cold steel tear. We all know that I've been on a bow thing, and that has translated to a lot of cold steels. Plus, I talked to Jimmy Slash recently, and he sent me a knife that we're going to be giving away tonight. This was my day. We're going to be giving one of these new in box, this one right here, away tonight. So cold steel has been, it's been on my brain a lot recently. $149.99 for the frame lock tie model Night Horse. That is way better than what I said. I think I said $190. They are amazing. You know what? I was confusing that with the where is it? The Dirk Pinkerton Contact, also from Beyond EDC, or this is asymmetrical, the asymmetrical line, and in titanium for $185. Unreal. Cold Steel Collector 808. I love it. Good to have you here, sir. Bob, I got a huge surprise for Christmas. I actually got one of my grails. What is it? Don't leave me hanging, man. That's awesome news. I love hearing that you got a grail for Christmas. And I want to hear about it. And knowing what your name is, I'm thinking it's a Black Rhino or a Desperado. I don't know. Something cool and something cold steel. Next up on me today, the brand new to me and to the world, Jack Wolf Knives, low drag Jack. Look at that bullet ended Jack, just a thing of beauty yet again, coming from Ben Belk and his Jack Wolf Knives. This in black micarta that I rubbed down with mineral oil yesterday, and it was so nice and black, and then I put it in here, and this is what happens. The suede on the inside of the leather pocket will soak up all of the oil, and maybe once you do that a couple of times, maybe it starts to stay in the micarta, but I'm willing to go on that journey with this micarta. Look at the drama of this blade. Look at that spear point blade. I guess we can't even call this a spear point at this point. It almost reminds me of a cotton sampler. Just a little bit reminds me of a cotton sampler, because that teardrop shape is so extreme. It comes into a pinched point there, which really, we saw this in Ben's last design, which was a Warncliffe that also had this downward angle to the cutting edge that really makes it an efficient cutter and really accelerates the slicing. The knife that this reminded me of before, this is the dog, the canine Jack, this dog leg from him, that also has that sort of pinched, ricasso area here. But this is so much more dramatic that it makes this look tame by comparison. I really love it. It has a, I don't know, this downward thing, blade. I honestly, I just got it yesterday, so I have yet to use it much, but I'm expecting this to be an incredible cutter, especially in the pulling, like this sort of draw cutting kind of cut, just because that belly comes down so extremely. So I had this on. Today was my first day carrying it. This is in S90V. That's the first time he's used S90V on these Jack Wolf knives. This is a full height hollow grind. This will be available next Friday, I believe. Next Friday. This was sent to me, as all the others have been, by Ben. And man, these things are so well built and so well designed. They've kind of ruined me a bit for slip joints. And I don't really mean that. I really still love the cases, the few cases I've collected, and the numerous GECs I've collected for other reasons. But these, man, they have a fit and a finish and a tightness and a solidity that we've come to expect from hard use tactical knives or modern, frame lock folders and that kind of knife. That when I pick up a Great Eastern cutlery, it feels like like a different kind of knife. Cam, good to have you here, Cam. Nice car. Hey, Bob, Jim, fellow junkies. I made it to my first Thursday Night Knives. Well, welcome, sir. So glad to have you. I hope you had a great day and that you had some great carry. Drop it in the comment. Let me know what you're carrying. Bob was carrying the Tucson TS 227 Jelly Jerry designed Dreadnought. Now, I don't know which one that is. I just have always loved the word Dreadnought. It's been used for and maybe coined for big ocean going warships from the masted days, and then big acoustic guitars that have like a really bulbous shape. Not bulbous, that's not the right term, but big hollow body acoustic guitars are called dreadnoughts, a certain kind. And I always just thought it's a cool word. You dread not. You're so strong. You're so like sturdy and stout-hearted that nothing makes you dread. So anyway, I don't know what that knife looks like, but it's a Tucson. No doubt it's really cool. I have a couple and only two of them, and one of them is right here. And this 330 something, 336 is really sweet too. Dave says, today I'm rocking a newly minted. Oh, I saw that you got one of those, and I don't know why I've been dragging my feet since they reissued the Talwar. You know what's going to happen? Oh, I'm not even going to say it. I got to jump on this at some point. So I'm happy to hear that you were carrying the newly minted cold steel Talwar. I would like one serrated personally. The Max Ace Rock and the PMP Berserker Tonto. That is a really cool one. That Berserker Tonto. And the Max Ace Rock, I'm not remembering exactly what that is. The XL Recon one, says Cold Steel Collector. Oh, nicely done, sir. Which one did you get? The Tonto or the clip point? I love them both. I have them both, and I'm curious what finish came on your blade. I mean, I know it's a black finish, but is it matte or is it glossy? Curious. Hero Sticks, happy pockets equal happy heart. Aw, Hero, you're just warming the cockles of my heart here. Also on me today was my beloved, and like probably my most carried fixed blade, the Hogtooth Tonto. Now I'm going to show you after this pocket check. I'm going to show you the collaboration knife I'm doing with Matt. I know I talked about it a while ago, but it's taken some time to get a prototype done, but he sent me pictures and I will show you pictures, but it's on this platform. I'm very excited. This is just such a great knife. 154 CM. Matt's an amazing knife maker, and it's a pleasure to not only have this totally, ridiculously macked out custom forged knife from him, but to have something that's way less expensive and way less, frankly, valuable to carry around with me that he made all the time. I love that. You can get, he's got a number of quote unquote production knives like this, where he has a water jet cut out the 154 CM, and then he does everything else basically. So lastly on me today, I did have a knife with me for emotional support. My emotional support knife today was the Black Mamba 2 by Off Grid Knives. This titanium frame lock is just, oh man, it's such a beauty. It's like their Enforcer model, their Enforcer EDC model, just a little bit smaller in every dimension, including thinness. And it just, man, it melts into the hand perfectly. It's got that golf ball sort of dimpling and texturing in the titanium. And it's got what is this blade? It's like M3, yeah, it's M390. And just great action, great blade for anything and everything. So usually my emotional support knife is a flipper or something fidgety of some sort. And today was no exception. So this is what I had on me today. What were you guys carrying? Let me know in the comments below. Oh my God. I make some good coffee, but man, does it dry me out. All right. Yeah, let me know. And while you're prepping and readying and getting those fingers a typing, Let me show you something cool. Cold Steel Collector 808 says, I got it finally. Got it. My old YouTube name was Hickless underscore Knives Hawaii. I changed my YouTube name a few months ago. I told you, but all good if you don't remember. I know you see a lot of names. I do. But Cold Steel Collector gets right to it. I'm happy to hear you got that. That was when I got both of mine, I think right as they were phasing them out, because mine are in XHP also. And they didn't last long. I remember shortly after that seeing them on the secondary market, like, oh my gosh, these are so expensive all of a sudden. Drive Strength, good to have you here, Drive Strength. Can't ever go wrong with Cold Steel. I kind of agree. Got the Recon Tonto on the War Belt always. That Recon Tonto is cool. I gave mine to a good buddy of mine who teaches long range shooting and such, and he loves knives. He loves Tontos, and I gave him a Best Tech Ronin. Is that what it's called, or Best Tech Kendo or whatever? It's like it's a Tonto, and he destroyed it. He absolutely destroyed that knife, and in a short period of time. And so I gave him that. I gave him my Recon. It's a cool knife. It's a very cool knife. But you say for the War Belt, that's exactly what it seems like it's built for. Michael Morgan, good to have you. If White Mountain Knives just restocked a Cold Steel, will that be made by GSM? Yeah. Anyone who's restocking a Cold Steel right now, it'll be a Cold Steel. It'll be a GSM. But I have a couple of GSM made or GSM era knives, and I'll show one of them in a few minutes, and they're fine. So far, they're fine for me. And no more or no less chintzy / you get what you pay for. So when you get the cheaper items, they're going to be cheaper, just naturally. Kion GR75. Kion. For now, I'm going to call you Kion, unless you correct me. Happy New Year's, Bob, and everyone. Well, Happy New Year's to you, Kion. Let's have a knife junkie year 2023. Very good. I love that. Greetings from Greece. I spent my honeymoon in Crete. Hogue Deca in Magna Cut over here. Ooh, very nice. So I have no Magna Cut in my collection, and that is weird because I have a lot of knives, and I've talked to Laren Thomas a couple of times about Magna Cut, and I was like, I swear I'm gonna go, and I just don't have one, and that's what I want to get it. I want to get a Deca. But greetings to you over there in beautiful Greece. You have no idea how much Greece. Mine and my wife's experience in modern day Greece, and then just the family's love of Greek mythology is strong in this house. So welcome, sir. Drive Strength says, anyone waiting on a Kunwu Pulsar from the Kickstarter campaign? Let me know, Drive Strength, what's going on with that? Is that something that you're waiting an inordinate amount of time for? And the reason I'm asking is because A, I don't know, and B, that news might be good for everyone to know, and C, I've never really done a pre-order. I don't think. No, that's not true. I did the pre-order for this. This is the one and only pre-order I've ever done for this Tempest. So I'm just curious how it's working. Hero Stick says, Ben and Jack Wolf knives have to be counted among the best new makers and knives of the year. No doubt. Would love to know which one you'd recommend as the best or the best first to start with. I think I would go with the laid back Jack, which is a sway back Tonto or a sway back Warncliffe. It's a perfect knife, and it's great for everything. So that's probably the one I would go with. But I mean, they're all excellent. Just depends on what you like best, what kind of blade shape I guess you like best. But they all have such good ergonomics that nothing you do is going to be a bum steer. Never Enough Knives 007 says, I got a Cold Steel American hunting spear for Christmas. Yes. I was working on fitting the shaft for it, and gave it a sharpening earlier tonight. That sounds cool. You know, they have the boar hunting spear. I've always wanted that. I always thought the boar hunting spear looks dramatic with those two flanges that come off the side behind the blade, so that when you spear a pig, it doesn't run all the way down the shaft onto you. I always thought that was cool. So I need a spear in my life. Plus, I was talking about Greek mythology. You know, they all had spears, and we're good with them. So I should have one too. Max the Maker, good to have you here, Max. He had the CQC 11K. That's the Kershaw with the big upswept. That's the Hunter blade, I think. The Swiss Army knife Huntsman, the GEC 49 with red bone covers. Love that. Olight Perrin 2, all not used except for the light. Very, very nice. Max always details kind of how he uses his knives, which I appreciate. All right, I want to show you this after I get to Blade Ogre's comment. Blade Ogre carrying the Spyderco Yo Jumbo. What a great knife. In S90V. Condor Bush Lore. Great knife. I gave that to a former boss's son who hopefully uses it camping. Tops Bull Trout. GEC number 29 in molasses and grits. I'm sorry. The 0640 Emerson by Zero Tolerance. The White River Backpacker Pro. That's a cool knife. In high vis. The American Service knife. The Devo Growler. I want that. And the Rosecraft Apple. Good God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blade Ogre with his 9. That's awesome, man. All great knives, of course. All great knives. Hungry Bird, good to see you here, Hungry. A prolific commenter and just an upbeat guy, man. Good to have you here, Hungry Bird. Good evening. Junkies carried a Cold Steel 8010 and Kaiser XL Sheepdog. That's a nice combo. You have the big and sturdy usable 8010, and then the bigger and sort of outrageous, but might come in handy if you have to prepare a salad, cleaver style knife. I love that. The Knife Inquisitor says, flicking my KOTY 2022 Bastinelli knives safe in Magna Cut. KOTY. What's KOTY? But if it's a Bastinelli, I know I like it, and I haven't seen it. I don't know exactly which one the safe is, but I know I love it because I've never seen a Bastinelli that I haven't absolutely loved. Let me show you this real quick. This is the collaboration knife with the Knife Junkie and Hogtooth Knives. This is the EDC Bowie, and it's based on this platform. You know, I'm always talking about this knife that I'm carrying. Well, I went to Matt and said, hey, what if we made one with a different blade shape of my design and put it on your amazing platform and make it, and then see if anyone wants to buy one. And I'll have, so basically I have this prototype on the way. And look at that thing. And I will be showing it off. And if anyone wants one, we're going to do a small run of numbered of these EDC Bowies with the Hogtooth maker's mark on one side and my logo on the other. And it's going to be numbered. So look at this beautiful, slightly cut gouge, sort of sharp, and just a great little EDC. So this is something I cannot wait to have in my hot little hands. I will be carrying and testing and showing off right here, and then I will be gauging interest. And those of you who are interested, we'll do a little order of these, and then leaving the option open for more in the future and other blade shapes in the future. I love that's the thing. I just love this little platform. It's so perfect. This is so far, and I have a number of really, really excellent preferred EDC carry knives, but this is the one. Even over the other one of his that I absolutely love and carry a lot, the Ruffian. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I wanted to show that off. He sent me those pictures, and I was like, ooh. It's very exciting. It's a beautiful knife, and he does knives well. He does knives well. Aberdeen Blade says Vosteed Valkyrie in the pocket for me today. That Valkyrie is a cool looking knife. I wouldn't mind getting my hands, and they have the two different blade versions, and they both look good. Both of those blade, yeah, Warncliffe and a sheep's foot, but they both look good. Byron says, my carry today is the first 2023 blade, the Max Ace Rock. Kudos, old Togata. 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 Oh, okay. That was the one designed by Cones Craft, right? I always forget his first name. Last name Cones. Dave has a bunch of his fixed blades that are just so beautiful. Drive Strength says, got a 5.5 Talwar in FDE. That's flat dark earth G10. Love it. Drive Strength. I used to have a 4-inch Talwar that was so good, and it was Os 8. And at the time, I was like, Os 8. Oh, I've moved beyond Os 8, and I got rid of it. And now, I just kick myself because that was a sweet knife that had incredible ergonomics, just melted into the hand. And it was always going to be the little brother to the big Talwar I was going to get, but never did. Regrets. Will B says, I had the Grimsmo Norseman, a knife that I had on loan recently. Not Will B's, but man, whoa, that is incredible. That was VC's, Mr. VC 256's Norseman. That thing was amazing. I see why people go bonkers over that Norseman. Spyderco Manix 2 15V. What the hell is that? With Fireside Tarot Tough scales, Lynch clip, and Flytanium tie ball cage. 12-cylinder carbon fiber chassis moon rocket. Kaiser Begleiter XL, a great knife. Riot XO 3V. That's one of these illegal gravity knives. And the Ronin 2, Olight Baton 3, and I5 T+. The Ronin 2, I love that knife. Will be, do you still use the sheath that came with, or did you make or get a secondary sheath? And that XO, that's a cool knife. I handled one at Blade Show, and it would be cool to have in the collection. I'm not so sure how much I would carry or use it. Michael Morgan says, today's carry, 4-inch Hogue EX01 Tonto, nice Elishewitz design, button lock in green G Mascus, and a full-size case copper lock. That's a cool knife. Clip point in hunter green saw cut bone. Man, case, I do like case knives as much as people like to, poo-poo them. There goes my voice again. Poo-poo them. They do handle covers so well. Cam says, got the DLT Crewwear DLC with Rips Garage Tarot Tough scales and the 10V Sheepdog for emotional support today. Hey, that's a lot of emotional support there. DLT Crewwear. I'm sorry, Jim. Can you go back to that real quick? Got the DLT Crewwear DLC with Rips Garage Tech Tarot Tough scales and the 10V Sheepdog for emotional support. Cam, I like the cut of your jib, sir. All right. What was Hero Sticks about to say? And as a bonus, the Dreadnought name was tweaked a bit by Kenner to name the Swamp Cronies, Dreadlocks, that followed Zartan and threatened all of our best G.I. Joe heroes. Hashtag I am a nerd. That's funny. Hero Sticks, I had a lot of first generation Star Wars figures. That's my age. My G.I. Joe was the size of a Barbie. My G.I. Joe wooed my sister's Barbies. That's kind of creepy, but that was the universe at that time. And then when the little guys came in, that was I think that's more second generation. Stephen, today's carry was Victorinox Ranger, SE Azula 2, and my Christmas present Empress Tomahawk. Yes, very nicely done, Stephen. Stephen, I'm posting a short tomorrow and it's really a short. It's like 8 seconds, but it's slow-mo of my Stingray Tomahawk by Wingard Wearables breaching a coconut and just kind of destroying it. And it's very cool. If you like Wingard wearables, tomahawks, you might tune in. Excuse me. Cut McNussart, good to have you here. He's the brand new owner of the awesome Shining Mountain Bowie. Carried small knives today. A Buck Saunter. I don't know that one. Finch Runtley. Love that charmer. The Malone Knives Backlander and the LT Wright Knives Pronghorn. It's a pronghorn week. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what a pronghorn is. Have a good have a knife day. Good evening. Have a knife day. Good to have you here, sir. Always love your videos. And man, your most impressive and quite veft fixed blade knife collection. Professor EDC says, carried my Jack Wolf Knives Venom till the low drag arrived. I know. And then had to switch and also carried the PM2 Blurple. Yeah, it's like now it's the Venom Jack until February, and then something else will kick that out. And I think that happens for 2 more months. I was tallying that up, and man, fully veft CRKT. See what I mean? Fully veft CRKT Ritual, fully veft. So that CRKT Ritual is the Shamshir shaped knife that's like 4.5 inches and super curved. And as I mentioned, Have a Nice Day has VEF serrations on a lot of his knives, and that one's fully VEFed, which means it can slice through a Chevy. Bob says, I also carried today my Tops Cut 4.0 Blackout Edition. Those are cool. I sold my Tops Cut, and that is one that I've sort of regretted from time to time. I actually think I would like that knife better without the karambit ring, only because I'm kind of in a non-ring phase right now. Drive Strength says, today was the Kaiser Towser K in 3V with rich light handles. That is cool. I like the Towser K a lot. I have the blue one, the one with the blue scales and the 154 cm, and I've tried to sell it a couple of times with no takers, and each time I'm like, why am I selling this? This is such a great knife, and I've never gotten the Sheepdog by Kaiser, and I kind of need a cleavery knife in the collection. So it's such a great one. It's so smooth. I've kept it, but for all the wrong reasons. Have a Knife Day says, don't forget to click the like button on the video. That's right, people. Actually, that's something I picked up from Shane Gables, is like every video I click on, pretty much every video I click on, I immediately click the like button, because I'm like, yeah, this is some sucker just like me trying to grow a channel or something. May as well give him or her a like. What's up, Lizette and Mark Gonzalez? Good to have you here, both. What is up is all around us, all these knives. Honey Bear 85, good to have you here, Honey Bear. Had a TRM Neutron 2 and got a Bark River Knives Trailmate 2 this evening. The BRK is now getting acclimated to my hip. That's sweet. I'm not sure which one the Trailmate is. I think it's kind of a clip point, isn't it? But whatever it is, it's a Bark River knife, and their knives are just so freaking awesome. I do have one right here, and I'm going to expose it right now. I love their Bowies, and I recently saw one of their Michigan Bowies, and I just didn't have the scratch to go blowing on that knife at that time, and I really wanted to. I have 2 Bark River knife Bowies. I would love to expand the collection, but here's to you. Here's to your Bark River Trailmate 2. May it serve you well. Dave says the quality of the new Talwar is perfect. Just need to work on the triad lock a bit. Still made in Taiwan, so GSM didn't change the OEM. Awesome, and that's what happens with the triad lock, especially with the big ones. Some of them take a little working in. I have a I've been trying to re-up my Voyager XL collection, so I got this. I got rid of, let's see, I got my Recon XL, Tonto and Bowie. I got rid of my XL Tonto and Bowie Voyagers, which was stupid. So now I've been getting them back. So I got the fully serrated, and this thing's wicked. Rev Artist, good to have you here, Rev Artist. Happy New Year from Dallas. Well, Happy New Year from Virginia to you down there in Texas, the free state thereof. Good to have you here, Rev. Drive Strength says the Kickstarter campaign seems to be on time, just chomping at the bit to get it. I know what that feeling is like. Titanium frame LMAX, real beauty. Tree, thank you, sir. Tree stabbing. What is that? Let's see. Tree stabbing Troy. Good to have you here, Tree stabbing. I like your name. I'm a tree stabber myself. Best Jack Wolf. Yep. Laid back Jack. Oh, good. I'm glad you concur. Yeah. I think if you're going to do one, that would be the one I recommend the most. Mike Flamion. Good to have you here, Mike. As always, Evo 3.0. Simmering with jealousy. Not envy, but jealousy. Randall 4 attack. Again, man. Love that knife. Spyderco Arc and the Victorinox Cadet on the keys. So this is kind of your standard. I know the your folder changes around, but since you've gotten the Evo, you've been carrying that one a lot, right? Man, that's a good carry. And this gentleman carries around a Randall 15, a Randall number 14, like on a daily basis, which I think it's class. That is cool. Anyway, Ryan Walker, good to have you here, Ryan Walker. I got the Condor Atrox. I'm loving Condor, man. The Condor Amalgam and the Tramontina Machete. I got to tighten the handle. So I'm a soak it in linseed and pound the rivet tighter. That sounds like a solid plan. The Atrox, that's that cool Bowie with the interesting two-tone micarta handle. Is that correct? Yeah, I want the Undertaker Bowie by them. That's a cool looking knife, though. I've heard the sheath is impossibly tight, and then I read a hack about how to loosen it. So having to do with shims and soaking it and shimming it and wedging and all that kind of stuff. Drive Strength says, your story about your dad getting you the Amtac after reading Terminal List got me wanting a Winkler Tomahawk now. Yes. Oh, God. Yeah, those Tomahawks are so cool, especially the Syak, the one that you see that he made in collaboration with the guys, or with one of the guys from Syak Kali. And that's the one you see, the crossed tomahawks that you see with all of the Jack Carr stuff. Yeah, my dad is cool. He is always, he likes gear kind of stuff, and especially more in later in life. When he was a younger man, he liked cars and wine, and now he likes knives. So anyway, yeah, he's like, well, if this is what Jack Carr is carrying, it's probably my son should have this. And I'm like, yes, go with that instinct, Dad. Go with that instinct. Shane Gables, we have Edgy American. Good to have you here, man. Hello, Bob. Hello, Jim. Guys, seems like it's been a while. It has. We took a couple weeks off, but it's very good to have you here, man. Happy New Year to you, Shane. Tree Stabbing Troy says, knife of the year. No, let's see. Oh, knife of the year. Yeah. It's got to be knife of the year. Knife of the year, I bet. Yep. I mean, my knife of the year, it's not an elf of the year, but Aberdeen Blade says, take my money for which one now? I've talked about a bunch of them. Now I'm not sure which one. Hello, Hero Sticks. Yes, it is the best EDC fixed blade by Tops. Since I just throw it in my pocket, and it does not have that black coating due to the 154 instead of 1095. That's like the Rapid Strike, same thing. They use that 154. It's so nice, and they don't have the black traction coating. Prototype looks good. I'd be in on it. Drive Strength says, awesome. That's cool, Drive Strength. So when I actually have the prototype, we'll do some sort of thing where I will get some sort of unofficial tally, or official tally, actually, and see who's interested. Very, very cool. Bob says Cold Steel Collector 808 reminds me of a large version of the Cold Steel Mini Tac. Yes, I have a Mini Tac. I have the Mini Tac Kiridashi. Yeah, this knife, I'm looking at the picture of my knife off to the side, but that knife is, it's small. It's this size. So, you put that down, and here, let look at it next to, well, here it is next to a XM18. So it's a small knife, but it's perfect for fixed blade carry, and I get a full 4-finger grip and a full capped grip. Matt Chase tells me a cool story about this knife in particular, not this one, but this model that saved the life of the son of a friend of his over in Iraq. I think it was Iraq, or I'm pretty sure it was Iraq. But it's always good to know that the knife you carry has a good pedigree. Never Enough Knives 007 says, today I carried a Rough Rider large Stockman with tan bone scales. Ooh, nice. That sounds good. Is that by chance the sow belly? If so, I have one that sounds just like it. The Mora Eldris, great knife. The Swiss Army knife Huntsman. I gave my 11-year-old nephew a Huntsman for Christmas, which is his first knife. Yes. Yes, that's great. I love hearing that. 11 is a perfect age. And, if your brother or sister or brother-in-law, whatever, hadn't gotten him a knife by 11, it's a great uncle gift. My daughters, both uncles, my brother and my wife's brother, are the best gift givers. Uncles are great gift givers. I think I've been a pretty good gift giver, but as an uncle, well done, sir. I applaud you. Byron says, I had the privilege of visiting the Randall Knife Shop and Museum, original Randall home in Orlando, Florida this season. I highly recommend to anyone who likes knives, traditionals, and military history. Byron, I've been down to Orlando twice since I've gotten my 2 Randalls with the family, and it was totally undoable. I was like, how do I work it? We're here for 3 days. We're going to Legoland or wherever we're going. How do I work it that I get to break away for 6 hours and go to this? It just hasn't worked. I got to figure this out because we seem to go to Orlando. Well, we've gone a couple of times, and dagnabbit, one of these times I got to check out Randall. So that's awesome to hear, man. I hope you picked something up, or at least got your order in for 5 years hence. Oh, that's sad. Out of coffee. Kep McNessart says, wow, that prototype looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Kep Muck. I can't agree more. I think it looks amazing too, but that's all built to my eye, basically. That man knows what he's doing. Edge Lab Knives, that was a beauty. Well, thank you, sir. As long as you're talking about, or not as long as, but assuming you're talking about that. No irony intended. Will you do a pre-order for your collab? Yes, I will. I will do a pre-order. That's how we'll be able to know how many to make. I definitely do not want to be sitting on a bunch of, kind of expensive fixed blade knives. So I want to know who actually really wants one and is committed to having one. And then Matt knocks them out by hand. And in his beautiful shop up in the middle of seasoned Sasquatch country, in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of Massachusetts. Total, yeah. I'm sure he's got stuff peeking in his windows at night, but I'm sure he scares them off because he's a tough dude. This old sword says 3 blades in Magna Cut thus far: the Hogue Deca, Lion Steel Leone, karambit. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. That is a cool karambit, I gotta say. Luckily, a little too big for my hands, so I didn't feel compelled to buy it. Whew. And the Pinkerton Razorback Custom. Yes, so I have a Razorback it's not on the way, but I've been in communication with Dirk. I had it on the channel. I said I want it, but I can't buy it right now, so I sent it back to him. He's putting a top edge. He's sharpening that top edge, and then I will be getting it shortly after that. And that's not a Keeping Up with the Joneses, Dave, or the Keeping Up with the Daves, but I want you to know we will be of the Brotherhood of the Razorback, which is such a wicked fighting knife by Dirk Pinkerton. who's such a cool guy. Tree Stab and Troy says 2023 will be the year of the fixed blade. I like that. I like that. I'm really, really heavily in a fixed blade mode these days. Well, I'm always carrying one, but that's what I've been buying mostly recently. That's what's been exciting me mostly recently. And then the occasional folder comes out that I'm like, wow, that's sweet. And now I can't remember any of them. Besides the Night Horse, which I love. Speaking of Dirk Pinkerton. Cold Steel Collector 808 says, I love my 4-inch tallware. Also tracked it down this December and considered it a Christmas knife. Well, we gotta treat ourselves well, right? Wait, there's a famous, well, yeah. There's a Woody Allen quote where he says something like, you can't live to 100 and give up all the things you love. Shit, I can't remember how he said it, but it was witty and funny. Stab, slice, chop, and shred that button, junkies, says Dion Page. I love it. I love it. Just don't damage your device so that next week you can also slash, stab, and punch that like button. Edgy Lab Knives says, today, as most days, green Medford Smooth Criminal. That is a cool knife. That is a very cool knife. And I like it in that color. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jim. I am totally remiss. I've just been blabbing. We got to talk about this. I'm here to give this away. Let's look at this for a second. Hashtag knife in the comments, and we're going to pick a time. By quarter after 11. By quarter after 11, Jim, keep me honest. He's like, I always do, Bob. We'll do a drawing for this. Hashtag knife in the comments, and it will go into the random selecticator in this program here in StreamYard, and it will select a random winner. This is not the one you will win. You will win the one that is in this box unopened, both donated to the channel by Jimmy Slash, the great and powerful Jimmy Slash, who, by the way, has his own competition knife coming out in 3V from Cold Steel Knives, a collaboration knife. So excited for Jimmy. It looks so cool. It might just be the first, all built to his specs as a sports knife guy, knife sports guy. It might just be the first knife sports chopper knife that I get, because it is pretty damn cool. But anyway, when I had him on the show after we were done, I was just whining about how I gave my con away to a guy at work, or maybe I sold it. But in my memory, I was a great guy and I just gave it to him. And then it was discontinued. And that even made me a more generous and great guy. And I was just kind of moaning and complaining. And oh, I'm so stupid. I should have kept it. It was such a cool little Tonto EDC. And Jimmy's like, I'll send you 2. And you can give one away and you can keep one. And so I said, oh, Jimmy, I couldn't possibly accept. Okay. And I gave him my address right then and there. He sent them. What a great guy. Very generous. He's sitting on a mount. He's sitting on a dragon's hoard of Cold Steel knives, I think. I love it. So this knife is awesome. This is AUS 8. And if you know Cold Steel, they know how to heat treat steels to get the max performance out of them. So their AUS 8 is pretty damn sweet. Way better than the AUS 8 on, say, my Rat 2 ever was by Ontario Knife and Tool. It's the same blue color, this G10 with a very mild traction for Cold Steel and a very mild clip for Cold Steel. We all know Cold Steel does a hell of a job with their tightness of their clips and the aggressiveness of their traction. Not on this knife. This is a great carrying. This is a great back left pocket EDC for me next to the bandana. This is a great knife for that. Light, thin. You got the triad lock. You've got this really cool kind of opening. Let's see. So it's not a thumb stud and it's not a hole. It's like if a hole and a thumb stud had a wonderful weekend in Monaco. And this is what came 9 months later. This sort of, it has the same effect of both a hole and a thumb stud. It is indeed a jimped ramp, circular jimped ramp. that doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. But it flips out, unlike most backlocks, and it's just a freaking awesome knife. And it's discontinued, so if you don't like cold steel and you don't like this knife, you stand a good chance of making a couple of bucks on the secondary market, though that would be just cold and heartless. Then again, you would be offering someone who really wanted this the opportunity to have it. Just don't price gouge them too much. All right. So we are going to be looking at that. Just make sure that you drop in the comments #knife, and in approximately 19 minutes, we'll get to it and pick a winner. Drive Strength says, Hogue Deca broke my Magna Cut Cherry recently. I hope it was gentle. So which blade shape should I get if and when I get a Hogue Deca? Because they are both really good looking blade shapes. The clip point, gorgeous. Maybe a slightly outdated thumb ramp, if me, but and that double edged sort of Warncliffe, very, very, very cool. Reminds me a little bit of a Gus Cicchini knife. What was that called? The airframe or whatever. The one that the Zero Tolerance 0055 was based off of. Will B says 15V is the new steel from I know who that is. That Spyderco did a run of. I still use the Bolatron sheath for the Ronin too. I do too, but because of that sheath, I think I carry it less. It's so thin. It's such a nice, thin, light knife that if that Ronin only came with a taco sheath and, had less of a, or even a pancake sheath that wasn't, egregiously huge, I would carry it more because I like it in the waistband. If something is too big in the waistband, you just need bigger pants. And, I don't got them. Redacted, good to have you here, sir. Happy New Year, Bob and Jim. Well, Happy New Year to you, Redacted. Always a pleasure. Shane, Edgy American says, I carried the ProTech TR4 Auto today. That's cool. If it's not a 4-inch blade, is it even tactical? That's a good point. That is a good point. But I remember someone on Ultimate Warrior. It was like Navy SEAL versus Spetsnaz or something like that. And they had this was the old, he had the old small version of the Recon 1 before the Demco redesign in 2006 or 7. And it had like a 3-inch blade, and he's like, I can get to all the vitals I need with this. And he was going, it was not very dignified, but this kind of thing isn't by its very nature. But yeah, so he made it tactical. He made a 3-inch blade, pretty tactical. But I'm with you, man. 4 inches is better. Rob's Nerdy Knives. Rob, good to have you here, sir. Good evening. I like your avatar too. Good evening. I'm getting in my CJRB large feldspar liner lock. I like that knife. I don't have that, but I love the way that looks. With red fat carbon fiber scales and M390 tomorrow. Woohoo. So, okay. I didn't know that it came in such a dressed up version. That sounds awesome, Rob. Use it in good health. That's a great Friday. I have something coming in for. I have the XL Voyager clip, which I had years ago, got rid of. Getting a new one tomorrow, so that's cool. But I'm also getting, and I'm very excited about this, a Steve Kalari chef's knife tomorrow. Super Steel Steve, Super Steel Steve. Well, he has started making chef's knives. He's a professional chef. And he's been making these incredible knives, and he's new at it, so they're affordable. And I snatched one up, and it should be here tomorrow. I can't wait. Have a knife day says, I just received a Gerber Lockdown Pry multi-tool. All right, I'm gonna say it. Just like the flashlights are necessary, pry bars are necessary, but I just don't get as excited about them, though. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not true because I have a JB Stout pry tool that I like, and I have pride of ownership in because he gave it to me. But it's a pry bar that it's never been used to pry. I just don't pry. I think if I pried on a regular basis, I'd be more into it. But how is the Gerber version of this pry bar? Because I find that Gerber stuff is soft. I'm just curious what they do to their pry bars, which I guess have to be harder than blade steel. Max the Maker says something interesting that I did in 2022 was keep track of how much I carry my locking knives. The top three are the PM2 for 86 days. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a list. That is interesting. 86 days of the PM2 is the most carried. Uh, huh. Maybe I should do that for 2023. Though that is the sort of thing I would start and then approximately 2 days later drop. Drive says, was watching your Empress Tomahawk video. Great stuff. Picked up the micro dick pic from Wingard Wearables. Awesome. Drive Strength, thank you very much. I love, talk about pride of ownership. I love my Wingard Wearables. Handmade by this guy and a handful of smiths and foundries and such. And I love his stuff. I think it's awesome. I want to get a dick pic. I want to get a mini dick pic, actually. That just seems more practical. Edgy American says, Bob, I got my first Tomahawks recently, Cold Steel Trench Hawk. That is a cool one too. I would like to get a Trench Hawk. The Trench Hawk seems to really embody the weapon spirit of the Tomahawk in that composite handle is really light, and then the blade is pretty light too. Like it has a pretty, as opposed to a full tang Tomahawk used for breaching doors and breaking open Humvees. The Trench Hawk is more like a weapon in that it's light, like a Wingard Wearables. It's light, it moves around easily. Very cool. Shane, are you throwing it? I've been throwing knives. I got 3 Cold Steel competition sport, whatever they're called, throwers. They're about 14 inches and they're heavy. And I use my old table, which was my countertop in like 5 to 8 apartments over the last 30 years. Finally bit the dust, took it outside. I've been throwing at it and I've gotten pretty good and it's exciting. I know where I need to stand to get one flip and make it stick. And I know where I need to stand for a no flip and to make it stick. And it's really fun to do. And my next thing is to try a Tomahawk. Curious, Shane, if you've been using your Trench Hawk to throw. Rob says, I'm also getting my Warren NV V4 tomorrow as well. Double goodies. Dude, what is the Warren NV V4? That sounds exotic and awesome. I don't know that one. The Warren, wait, I don't know what that is. Excuse me. Robert Brangzewicz, hang on. Brankzewski, Robert Brankzewski. Good to have you here, Robert. Oldie but goodie belt carry, Kanetsune KB250. I think I know what you're talking about. And I think I have. It was sold to me as a Japanese gardening knife. And basically, it's a clip point blade with a handle that looks almost like an axe haft. And I think that this Kanetsune is the real version of what I have. I think what I have is a kind of a clone or a Chinese fake version of that knife. That is interesting. I'd love to see that. Chris McNair, good to have you here, Chris. Happy New Year's, Bob and Jim. Well, Happy New Year to you, Chris. Carried my AD 20.5 clip point with OG goat scales, and one of my Christmas presents, textured reverse Tonto runt. 5 Magna Cut, of course. Wait. I'm having a blank. Oh, runt. ProTech. Cool. That sounds awesome, man. That is a nice Christmas present. Well done. I got to show you some, well, I'll show this off. And Michael Morgan says my button lock V3V Towser is trash. What? 0 detent and light tap fails the lock. My friend can just close it with his hand. Oh, that sucks. Send that shit back. That's got to be a lemon. We know Kaiser's pretty damn good, and they're the other the Beglider XL button lock is pretty stout. So I'm hoping that's just a lemon. Kevin Moore says, "What's up, fans?" Kevin Moore, good to have you here, sir. So glad to be back with you, wonderful folks. So glad to be back with you. We're talking about Christmas knives. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. Let me show you this. This is the Civivi Waxahachie that my brother-in-law gave me. Will be. I was checking out a Bark River Bravo 1 LT in Magna Cut. Love the way it fit in my hand. Almost bought it. Oh, ooh. There will be more, Will. So be sure to get one. I love this thing. So this Civivi ships with the Terzuola clip, which is very much a what do you call it? Like a tech lock. This knife is so beautiful. Look at that clip point blade. I think it's, I don't know. I just think it's very pleasing to the eye. Almost looks like a Dow blade. It's a very dramatic clip point. Reminds me a little bit of the Cogent, which was the first button lock by Civivi. It has sort of that vibe. I keep calling this a Civivi. This is a Sen cut. It's got a Civivi clip. This is a Sen cut, which means it's even cheaper than a Civivi or less expensive than a Civivi, but beautifully made. Feels great in hand. This blade is 3 3/4 inches long, super thin and sharp. 14, or this is a 9CR blade steel, I believe. You got this JG10, which as this was a gift, and my brother-in-law saw the handle and he was like, "Oh, that's not what I was expecting." And I was like, I really like JG10. He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, I like it. If it's not what you ordered, you do what you need to do. Send it back and I'll take whatever you want to give me. But I love it." And he's like, "Okay." But then shortly after getting it, I was like, I've never dyed a handle before. Maybe I'll dye this handle. But I'm going to wait. And James, if you're watching, I'm going to wait a little while and carry it as it was intended for a while. And then I'm going to dye it like a deep. What I did was I got RIT dye. I got a Bordeaux sort of wine color like this shirt. But then I got a darker indigo blue like this. And I'm going to just put a splash of indigo in with the wine just to make it a little deeper. And that's what this handle will be. And but man, what a great blade. This, I think, well, first of all, I've been carrying this just around the house, scout style on the front. Maybe that's not scout style, but just horizontally on the front, like near my belt buckle. And very nice retention. And in a, if I didn't live in such a suburban domesticated area, I would do that. But on the whole, I can't do that. So I think I need to get a discreet carry clip on this thing. I think this would be great for how I like to carry. And I don't think that this pancake sheath will be too wide to ride in the 3 o'clock position. So this is the Waxahachie. I'm not sure. I think it's like a $50 knife. It is awesome. I do recommend it. If you want a small fixed blade knife, if you love clip blades, this one does have a nice tip, low line tip. So you can use it for a lot of like pull cuts and the kind of utility cuts you might like a more worn cliffy blade for. So this will give you a lot. Plus, I mean, as a last ditch self-defense kind of tool, that's a great point. It's pretty robust all the way to the tip, but very acute from this angle. It's going to get into a lot of places. Very nice knife. I love this thing. Thank you, James, if you are watching. That is the Waxahachie. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, because it's not. It's the Waxahachie. There we go. I'm going to say it totally. All right. So let me show you these giveaway knives we're going to be doing. Okay. So next Wednesday. Yesterday, the podcast went up, the midweek supplemental went up, and I was talking about how lucky I felt because the channel grew quite a bit in this past year, and it just made me feel great that people are watching this and think it's worth their time, and so I wanted to give back a little because I've been feeling very lucky. So I'm calling this the lucky number 7 giveaway, and that's 7 because I have 7 knives to give away. And these were donated to the channel by Dave. And each one of them, this old sword blade reviews, and each one of them was one I struggled not to keep myself, because sometimes Dave will send me these giant caches of knives to give away. And I'll always say, oh, this one I'll just foster in my collection for a while till it's ready to go out into the world. Like that's how I got my Cold Steel Spartan, or not Spartan, Cold Steel Immortal. But all these knives I'm passing on to you, and you'll see one of them, the last one I show, is probably the hardest for me to part with, because it's just so damn sweet. But okay, let's take a look at these. And these are in no particular order. These are all knives that have a cool factor. If any of you know Nothing Fancy, or probably many of you do, he had two types of cool. First type of cool was utility. This thing is a great tool. It does its job perfectly. Second type of cool is, wow, that looks cool. Wow, that's a crazy handle material. Whoa, what great blade steel. Like kind of the luxury and cool side of things. So that's second type of cool. So each one of these knives has that second type of cool. Just something about it that's just, nice. Okay, so the first one is, this is kind of a classy spy knife, or it's a gentleman's knife. This is the Miguron Acri 2. Beautiful, all black. This knife, I did a Hero Sticks loaned me this one just like this a while back. Different dress. I loved the knife. Talked a lot about it and how luxurious it is for the cost. I think this is a sub $100 knife. You've got really nicely contoured handle scales, a beautiful, clean overall look, with a blade that comes in at 3 3.75 inches. Nice, big, beautiful knife. This one, and you've got the sculpted clip. This one has these gold liners, which, like on the original Praxis, in the first couple of Civivis, they did that, and I was appalled. I was like, that's so chintzy and cheesy looking. But I think it looks beautiful here on this knife. The Miguron Acri 2. Okay, so this is a front flipper only, and this will be one of the knives we give away. I'll put that down there. Next up, this one is cool. The second type of cool. This is the Petrified Fish Wing. Interesting name for an interestingly named company. And what a cool looking knife. That, first of all, I love that blade shape. That blade shape would look great on a variety of different handles. The handle that it's on is interesting looking, kind of wing shaped, if you look at the milling on that surface. But that audacious hump on top is so comfortable, and it places the thumb ramp and the blade, perfectly places it for that saber grip. Of course, you can also ride up and do that Filipino grip way up here, or it feels really good in reverse grip. But this thing in saber just feels amazing. You've got incredible action, of course, and just a really cool blade shape. Petrified Fish. Any of you guys know any of these knives? Bob, I'm not a fan of Bowie blades, but I like the one you designed. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's got a little bit of a recurve, and then a long swedge, which is, like I said, it's not sharp, but it comes to a 0 ground edge. So you can, if you get in a duel, you can do a back cut on the guy's arm. Hollywood Tactical, good to see you here. Very fortuitous day. I managed to get a double grail acquisition of Wee knives, the double helix and the black cow. You got the black cow. Oh man. Oh man. I'm just kidding. I'm feeling envious. I not this. That's not even jealousy. Like, this is envy. Like, I don't want you to have that knife. I want to have it. What up, brother Bob, says Dwayne Letterman. Dwayne, good to see you, man. And I'm just kidding, Hollywood Tactical. Your victory is my victory, of course. But I really do wish that black cow were mine, all things being equal. Very nice snag. I was talking about the beautiful Spanish clip shape of this. Well, that black cow is designed by Miguel Barbudo, a Spanish knife maker, and it has that beautiful Spanish clip point. And just look him up on Instagram, and you will see some of the most beautiful navajas and other Spanish knives by that guy, Miguel Barbudo. Dan B007, hey, y'all, he says. Well, hey, Dan, good to have you here, man. Happy New Year to you. It's a Gungan. Happy New Year to you. I need a Weebla cow. I do, too. Not sure why a legend like that would be discontinued. Yeah, that's like the artificial scarcity thing. Well, I guess it's not artificial, but they could have been making plenty more. They could have sold more of those things. Oh my God, I love that. And it had a unique lock type and everything. I experienced it when Dave loaned me his, and I tried in all sorts of ways to get him to sell it to me, and he wouldn't. Kevin Moore says, carried the new QSP Locust in blue micarta. So warny. That is, I know which one you're talking about. Victorinox Cadet in blue A-locks, Wingard Wearables Quill XL wrapped in paracord, and Vera Forma EDC V3 spinner challenge coin. It was a good day. I'm glad you had a good day, Kevin. What is this Vera Forma EDC? Oh, I know you carry a lot of challenge coins and different sort of fidget coins. I'm wondering if I saw that one or not. Brandon Sutton, I want to see an Elvia or a pikal, Bob. Huh. Could it be? All right. Sit tight. Here, I'm gonna put something for you to look at for 2 shakes while I go get a pikal. All right. Yeah, there we go. I didn't have one out on the table, so I'll grab a couple. All right. Luckily, this man cave is not huge and sprawling. I didn't have to go far. But I got 4. Why not? You asked for an Elvia by name, so I'll show you my Elvia. My non-folding, my fixed blade Copus Designs Elvia. Go check out Knives Shipped Free. They had a drop of these yesterday or early today. This and the other blade shape with the little divot cut out of the back. Anyway, this one is mine. I have an Ulti clip. Not a huge fan of the Ulti clip, but it works well on this. And I had the handle wrapped by Josh Mason of Bright for War knives. I have a cool Kiradashi that he made also. But he just does beautiful work with the ray skin and such. And so this is my Elvia. The plastic handle on this is great. It's really good if you want to drop it in your pocket and be very low profile. But for me, I always had something wrapping it. I had jute cord for a while on it. And then I was like, why not get a nice Sukamaki wrap on it? So I really love the way that feels right there. So, and let me show you a couple more, and then I will salute you, sir. Also, pikal, we were talking about Bastinelli earlier. Here's the Anomaly, a ringed pikal style knife. Very beautiful, as is everything that comes from Bastien Cove. Sorry, I forgot his last name for a second. Just beautiful design on that gorgeous hooking blade. And then this one of my faves, but they're all one of my faves. JB Knife and Tool Ditch Pick, double-edged. This one traditionally just comes in pikal style, but on this drop, he was offering half double or edge and a half or fully double-edged, and I decided I would regret anything but fully double-edged, so that's what I got. And then last little pikal style knife example is not so little. This is the Cave Bear. I will salute you with my Cave Bear. This is a hand ground, custom handmade knife by Dirk Pinkerton. He's very prolific. He designs a whole bunch of different style of knife, and a lot of his EDC knives flex nicely into self-defense. And then his fixed blade knives are just straight self-defense and weapon stuff based. A lot of it is based on modernizing traditional weapons from around the world. So this Cave Bear is just a nasty beauty. I love the contrast of the very beautifully even black blade, perfectly ground, very grim in its purpose with two sharp edges. And then you got that happy Ronald McDonald layered yellow and orange micarta. I just like the cognitive dissonance, if you will. So Brandon Sutton, to you, sir, I say thank you so much for that super chat. Here's to you. I hope you enjoyed this little cavalcade of pikal style knives. Rob says today my carry was the WSP Pyrite. WSP Pyrite limited edition in black PVD. Micarta inlay titanium scales. That sounds beautiful, man. What is the WSP Pyrite? Rob, what is this? It's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I know what it is. Knife Inquisitor. Good God. Thank you, sir. $15 Australian. I appreciate that. Australian dollar is poo. So sending you a debt. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's the thought that counts. I love it, man. I appreciate that. So, all right, Knife Inquisitor. Let's see. What shall we salute you with? Well, you know what? We'll double time it. I'll show you this. Oh, did I show this last time? I don't know. I just got the Wild West Bowie. I got the Wild West Bowie, which is the W49. It's their version of the Western 49, but all big. It's like bigger than the. Here, I'll show you. By contrast, here, this is the classic W49 from 1980. This one was made in 1980, and here is the Wild West Bowie by Cold Steel. So they made it a bit bigger because Lynn Thompson, and it's a full 10-inch blade, and this thing is just wicked cool. So Knife Inquisitor, for the debt, I thank you for that, man. That is great. It's interesting. I don't know the exchange rate, but is it worse than the American dollar? Anyway, here's to you. I hope all is well in Australia. I hear some kooky things coming from over there, but I'm sure you hear a hell of a lot of kooky things coming from over this way. So here's to you, brother of the blade, over on the other side of the planet. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really, really do appreciate it. There you go. This is to you. And let me ask you, Knife Inquisitor, since you're Australian, I claimed with my brother that there is nothing more annoying, and maybe all of you knife folk out there agree, there is nothing more annoying than when a non-knife person or a knife person, heaven forbid, but you hand them a knife and they say, that's not a knife. Is that not the worst thing ever? Is that not the worst thing ever? It is, isn't it? Oh my gosh, we're way past 11:15. All right, let's give this knife away, and then we'll get back on track. I'm all over the place tonight. I swear I had to run a show, and I'm all over the place. Steel Ovan, good to have you here. Carried my Warney Mod Holt Haptic and one of my fixed blades today in 1080 in micarta. Steel, I'd love to see one of your knives, man. I'm trying to remember if you've shown it here. Petrified Wing. All right, Jim, let's give away the knife. Since I said 11:15, and then as usual plowed right by it, and then I'll continue with the giveaway knives for next week. So we're gonna now do the drawing for this knife, not this one, for the one inside of this box. This is the Cold Steel Con I was just discussing. Discontinued, great little 3-inch Tonto EDC, and not for nothing, in a pinch. Wow, that's quite a stabby little knife. So. You could use this knife for a lot of different things. All right, Jim, let's do it. Let's spin the proverbial wheel. I know that we don't have a wheel here. We have the feature from StreamYard. So spinning hashtag knife. We have 44 entries. All right, let's see who gets it. All right, around it comes. Let's see who gets it. Oh, it just, Drive Strength. Good job, man. Nicely done. Okay, so Drive Strength, email me your address. You can do that. Go to the website, thenifejunkie.com, and send me an email through there. And I will get you this con in the mail to you. Probably not tomorrow. That's usually what I say, because Thursday night I have these great intentions, and then Friday I'm playing catch up all day long. So, but by Monday I'll get this out to you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna get this out to you. All right. Rob says, need to go to bed. So good night, y'all, from Texas. Rob, good night, sir. It's been a pleasure. Hope you join us next week and have a fine evening of rest. Hero Stick says, all in on the pre-order. Oh, awesome. Excited for you, Bob. And selfishly for me too, because I'm going to buy one for sure. Congratulations on bringing your vision to reality. Well done, sir. Thank you, Hero Sticks. That puts wind in my sails. Definitely gonna make this happen, and I'm excited to see that get into the hands of all you fine people. I got my first fixed blade of 2023 in today, a mini Tucson M390 blade. Oh, cool. I don't know that, Dan. I know Tucson does fixed blade knives, but I'm not familiar with any of them. Here you go. From Woody Allen, no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. That's a good one. But the one that I was going to quote is, it's like, you're never going to live to 100 years if you give up all the things that make you want to live to 100 years. And with Woody Allen, we can only imagine what that is. We all have our own little peccadillos, let's say. Tom Richards, good to see you here, Tom. Have you ever checked out the Combative Edge M1 assisted opening flipper Tonto? More a fixed blade guy, but love this folder. I have the Combative Edge M1. It's non-assisted, and it is a recurve clip point. It's the original Combative Edge shape. But the Tonto, I remember when that came out, I did not realize it was assisted. Now that makes sense, because the Combative Edge M1 had a flipper tab, but it was much more a finger guard than a flipper. Like, you really needed wrist with it. Not in any way intended to open the knife in an efficient fashion, I don't think. It was kind of before that. But that's a great, I don't hear people talk much about Combative Edge, especially the M1. I know they have a couple of fixed blades that people like a lot. But yeah, that's a great suggestion. And not for nothing, I do like his Tonto too. I like the design of the Tonto blade. It's a Gungan says, Mini and XL Recon along with a 4-inch Talwar are the knives I still curse myself daily for not picking up when they are available. Oh my God. I know, me too. For me, it's the Black Rhino and the Desperado. Great show, Bobby. Been watching while doing house stuff and chilling with the wife, says Happy Haptics EDC. Well, thank you very much, sir. I hope I'm not driving the wife crazy with the knife talk. I know how that can be. As a matter of fact, I think that's why this whole show started, so that the people of my household did not have to hear this. Drive Strength said, went from 0 to 3 Bradford knives in less than a month. Definitely scratched my fixed blade itch. I am going to be inviting, I can't remember her name, but she is the woman kind of in charge of Bradford. I'd love to get her on the show. I talked to her briefly at Blade Show, and she's on a long list of people to get on here. But those Bradfords, I was just eyeing them up in the Smoky Mountain paper I have lying around the room. And man, the original Bradford Guardian, what is it, 3? What a great looking little knife. And that horizontal leather pouch. Beautiful. Beautiful. Brian Sutton says, my main issue with cold steel folders is the billboarding on the blade. Yes, that is kind of a bummer. That is something that, oh, wait. You want to see billboarding? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jim, can you go back to that real quick? That last comment. He mentioned billboarding. Brandon. Okay, I'm sorry, Brandon. I will show you billboarding on a cold steel blade. You look at this, sir. I endure the billboarding on this because it's such a great knife. But look at this. This is the Lynn Thompson Signature Edition, where he puts his giant second grade teacher cursive signature on the side of this, like, menacing, serrated, recurved, modern day folding what is this? This is the Turkish yatagan. Look at this thing. It's hilarious and ridiculous. And I like the audacity of the billboarding here. It's like, oh yeah, you don't like billboarding. Well, here's my signature. I just learned cursive. I just think it's so fun. I also think it's funny that Lynn Thompson writes his signature like that, just because it just is funny to me. I don't know why. Maybe you know why. Only my Magna Cut is by American Blade Works is at 63.8 HRC. Jeez, oh man. So that's your only Magna Cut, and it's at the right Rockwell hardness is what I'm getting, is what I'm picking up. Because a lot of people got Magna Cut, or a lot of companies, and then they heat treated it to the very lowest recommended threshold, not realizing or squeamish about taking it much higher. But really that steel could go a lot higher. So I think a lot of people felt burned in the beginning when they were getting low HRC Magna Cut. User 579, good to have you here, user. Why don't most fixed blades have a guard? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's an accurate statement. I think that a lot of fixed blades don't have guards, but a lot of them do. Now, maybe I say that, user, because I'm in a large fixed blade phase, and everything I have right now has these giant guards on them. But let's look at this Waxahachie for a second. This doesn't have much of a guard at all. You are correct, sir. But it does have this little thing here, and these lightning holes do, get your grip, and it has traction. But I see what you mean. Now this, I think, to answer your question, the reason most fixed blades don't have a guard is because most fixed blades aren't marketed as weapons or designed as such. And the guard, especially in a smaller format, in an EDC smaller format, the guard's going to get hung up on your shirt. It's going to force the sheath to be larger, especially if you have a Kydex sheath. It's going to have to be larger to accommodate a guard. Of course, we're assuming this is a small knife, but the concept is scalable. So I think that's probably the reason. Unnecessary on an EDC style fixed blade knife, and just extra bulk, I would imagine. But then on knives that are intended for self-defense and stuff, oftentimes you'll see the blade being wider than the handle, so that the hand doesn't rise up on the blade because the blade is too wide. Okay, Flip Solo, good to have you here, Flip. We like to use multiple knives, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Or use is actually the that's the prime situation. Oftentimes it's just like, have on you. Hollywood Tactical says, I have the Topps little bugger. It's tiny but definitely tactical. Also the Wee Knives OSS lapel dagger here, kind of like this Station 9 lapel dagger. Love this little thing. I stabbed a watermelon that was sitting around a little bit too long around the house this summer, and did a number with that, walk by, and then a few days later it was leaking all over the counter. My wife's like, what the? And I was like, I don't know. That's the weirdest. I've never seen such a thing. Drive Strength says, have always loved the Warncliffe style. Love how my options have exploded in the last year or so. Hey, Drive Strength, do you know I was talking about this. That's a great Warncliffe style knife. But this asymmetrical contact is such a great, I'm going to put this under here, such a great Warncliffe. This is the Pinkerton design. It's something I love about this is that, look at it. In this aspect, it is just, you can see, it's just a perfect utility EDC. Look at the angles, look at the downward angle of the hand to the tip, and the cutting and the pulling and all that. And then if you put it in reverse grip, it's a perfect pikal style knife because of the way that angle reaches outward. You want that, so when you're doing that gross motor punching stuff, when you're trying to get someone off of you and you're not doing all your delicate collie techniques, that edge is reaching out and that point is further out. So this is a perfect example of a great Warncliffe, beautiful look with perfect tip angle right here. Same tip angle you'll see on the Hinderer Warncliffe blades, but presented at an angle that allows it to be great at self-defense too. So I love this knife. So you're in a Warncliffe phase, maybe check out the asymmetrical contact. Dan Satermo, good to see you here, Dan. Hello, Bob, Jim. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you. Always a pleasure to see Mr. Satermo amongst the crowd. The dick pic is outstanding, says Hero Sticks. I mean, a lot of stuff you can do with those things. A lot. All right, I want to show you the next knife in the giveaway Cavalcade. Drive strength. Bob, for good knife throwing tips, CK out projecting CK. Oh, check out. Sorry. Check out Projecting the Cut on Warrior Poet Society. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, fantastic. I think he did some slow motion stuff that helped me. If I'm not correct, if I'm correct. Edgy American says, I threw that some bitch the minute I took it out of the package. Oh, did you? Nice. How did it work? Did it stick? Are you good at that? Does it come naturally? Is it weighted for that, or is it the same thing as a knife? You just kind of have to find your range and figure that out. Dan says, I didn't get anything for Christmas except what I bought for myself. Oh, I want this knife. I got a VBR with dark matter fat carbon. Yo, and DLC bolster. That VBR, that is I was talking about folding knives, not so exciting to me. That is a folding knife right now that I find very exciting. That VBR is gorgeous. Love it. Roy Andrew, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Roy Andrew. I'm just going to call you Roy if you don't mind. Great to have you here. I'm sick. I was about to say silk. I'm sick. Good to have you here. Did you give away that cold steel knife already? Yeah, I did. I was going to do it at 11:15, but I ended up doing it at about 11:30. Yes, we did. And it went to strength drive strength. I didn't get any in time for Christmas, but I have 6 or 7 on the way, including a Capara and a Recon 1 clip point. Manaja. That's a good one. Recon 1 clip point's an awesome one. Next up in this list of giveaway knives, next Wednesday, don't forget to go to the Wednesday, the supplemental, that's episode 380. Just go to theknifejunkie.com/380, take you right there, and comment, I'm in. And that will enter you into all 7 of these knives for giveaway. However, if you win one, that's all you get. If you win twice, we're gonna do a second drawing. All right, so this is the Max Ace Balance K. We gave one of these away not too long ago for Knife Junkie, Gentleman Junkie giveaway. This is a awesome knife, fully flat ground, very behind edge. Max Ace just makes beautiful knives, and they do them in a number of different versions. They do a Thai and M390 super milled and luxe version, and then they do pared down versions. They're K versions in K110 steel, which is analogous to D2. This is the Balance K. So that's D2 blade steel, and this is a nicely sculpted and contoured G10 handle scale. Great action. Perfect flipper, like that's the perfect orientation. Feels great, and then when it's open, it has that aggressive forward curving look. Really great knife. To me, looking at it right now, kind of looks like a great white shark. Balance K, very cool knife. Love that thing. I wouldn't mind, well, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't mind all of these in my collection, but we got to show some discipline. Some. All right. Let's see. Next up. Oh, I see. I sent Jim. I said it was the Tosun, but actually it's the Tucson TS381. This is by Tepe Designs, and of course he saw that I made a mistake, and he's a smart man and fixed it. This one is probably all in all the highest of the highest value. This is designed by Tepe Designs and manufactured by Tucson Knives. That is titanium, and that is M390 blade steel, crowned spine. Just a beautiful little knife. What is this? 1, 2, 3, and what? 1, 2, 3. That's about 3.5 inches in blade length. You've got that. You can Spidey flick it with the lozenge shaped opening. You've got a finger choil there. You can come up. Got a very acute point, and M390 blade steel, of course, is excellent steel. And then all this titanium goodness. What a great little knife! This is a very high value giveaway knife here. The Tucson. What is this? TS381 Tepe Designs. Looks a little bit smaller than all of them, but still, that's a nice 3.5 inch blade. Next up, where is the? All right, one of them is. I hate to do this again. So this is a company that I knew very little about until with Tucson knives, and it's 6 leaf. So they have a thing with a number and then a noun. So they go from Tucson to 6 leaf. This thing is so cool. First of all, it's got some sort of cool micarta. I can't tell. It's like a burlappy micarta, deep carry pocket clip, awesome action. But look at this blade. Oh my God. This blade is really cool. This is the SL02. It is a double peaked spear point, you might call it, with swedge and secondary main bevel up towards the tip, which is really cool because it allows for a very fine and acute tip but the blade maintains its width almost to the tip, and it's because it remains fat until they put the secondary bevel on this grind here. So just a really cool knife. Feels great in hand. You can ride up. It gives you a space to ride up and use it. Reminds me, now that I'm looking at it through the camera, it reminds me a little bit of an Elishewitz design. But this is all Tucson and on bearings and that really cool micarta. Not Tucson, 6 leaf. So yeah, it is kind of Tucson. Eugene Krabs, good to have you here, Eugene. How does one enter this giveaway? Okay, go to thenifejunkie.com/380. That is the Wednesday supplemental show podcast that was released yesterday. And in the comments, just one time, just put "I'm in," and then we will gather everyone who is in, and they will be put in. They will be entered each time into the drawings. So you get 7 chances to win one of these knives. And if you win one of them and then you win a second one, we're going to throw you back in. We're going to catch and release that second win and let someone else win it. But so that's all you got to do. Go to thenifejunkie.com/380. That is this week's midweek supplemental podcast. And just in the comments, write "I'm in," and you'll be in. Let's see, 2 more knives to show off. The last one, you're not going to believe I'm going to give this one away, but this next one also is hard to give away because this is a phenomenal knife that got so much good press from our trusted voices. So I'll show it right here. This is the Kubi Momentum. Kubi knives really gained massive respect from me over this past year. As a matter of fact, when I went to Blade Show in June, I had to fly unexpectedly. And so that meant I only took one knife, and it was a Kubi knife, not this one, but it was the Kubi Flash, because it's such a great knife, but it's also so inexpensive that if TSA helped themselves to my knife, I wouldn't be so heartbroken. But to me, that's like a major compliment to the knife, because there are a lot of inexpensive knives I could have taken, and that was the one, because Kubis are amazing. And this is not an exception. This Momentum is like one of the best front flippers like ever that I've ever experienced. I think a lot of it has to do with the shape, this shape right here, that rounded portion. And then of course the shape of the front flipper. It is easy. It is so easy to do from a number of different positions. Look, that's my left hand, and I'm doing it with my forefinger on my left hand. That's pretty good for me. Of course, you can use the thumb studs, and you can Spidey flick and do all that all that jazz. But really, the front flipper is the USP of this. And the blade is excellent. Nice and thin, and then flat ground to a nice thin edge. Just beautiful. What's this made out of? D2 blade steel. And it says Manganas design. So Manganas design. Excellent knife. Any one of these so far I'd love to keep in my collection. But this last one was one of those things where you're like, after I did it, I felt really good about myself. I'm like, I've committed to giving this away. This means I'm just all the materialism I've been guilty of in the past, even yesterday, is washed clean by the fact that I'm giving this away. Yes, this giant, beautiful dagger vendetta. Lacy Lace, EDC and Lace, everyone having a good night? Good to have you here. I'm having an excellent night. And someone next Wednesday will be having an excellent day when they win this Dagger Knives Vendetta. Let's look at this under the microscope here. So this here, for comparison, here it is with an XL Voyager. So about a 5-inch blade. 5-inch dagger ground blade. Of course, it's a single-edged dagger, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but you know what I mean. It has to be because it doesn't fold fully into the pocket. That's a steel frame lock with a secondary, oops, left-handing it, with a secondary lock, which is cool and appreciated, but unnecessary. But on this Vendetta knife, which you might be using to assassinate someone, of course, I'm joking, but I mean, it's a big, scary-looking knife, and you call it the Vendetta. So maybe you're seeking revenge. You might want to flip this lock on just so that the big knife doesn't fold on you. But I don't think it will anyway. The short nature of this lock bar makes it a stout, somewhat stout closing. Has this crazy carbon fiber that I love, hate. It's got a glass breaker and then a clip that I just hate. I don't like skulls. I don't like the skull motif. Honestly, like, I don't know. It's a personal thing. I just don't like the skull motif. I like it in classic things. Like, for instance, Have a Knife Day's Avatar has a skull with a beret. Well, that's kind of cool. That's from a military unit. That's something else. But like skulls on everything, the skull clip on the Chavez knives, this totally immature to me. But in a way, so is the whole knife. So it kind of adds to it. But anyway, these are the knives that we'll be giving away. The Giant Vendetta, the Momentum, the SL02, this Tepe design Tucson, the Balance K by Max Ace, the Wing by Petrified Fish, and the Acri 2 by Miguron. All right. Oh, let me show you the. Geez, let me show you the Amtac. I'm just blabbing, and now I'm not showing you the knife I was going to show you. Right now, I'm playing with some Rex 121. Aiden sent me. Such a neat steel. Rex 121. Now, I knew Rex 121 first when it was going in that, was it? Who was making it? A knife maker. Oh, Creeley. Creeley was using Rex 121. That's when I first heard of it. Jonathan Camps. Good to have you here, Jonathan. I got a Care Suando hunting axe and a Protec Sprint for Christmas. Praise God indeed, man. That sounds like a nice haul. Let me show you this. This was a Christmas gift from my dad, who, as I mentioned before, is really into reading Jack Carr books between history or whatever else he's reading. And Jack Carr, if you've ever read any of the books, he goes into great detail listing the kit, the guns and the optics and the knives and the gear and the boots and all the cool stuff that his character James Reese is using. Well, this was one of them, the Amtac Northman from Amtac Blades. This is designed by a former SEAL and therefore sort of, on the radar of Jack Carr when he's writing. So look at this thing. This is cool. This is meant to be a fixed blade pocket knife. So you can see the discrete carry clip is fixed on there. There's no moving it around. It's fixed on there, and it is deep set. This goes deep down in the pocket, which I thought would cause a problem. I thought it would cause you to cut your pocket upon drawing, but it does not. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how, but anyway, if you look at the Amtac directions, he suggests you put it in your pocket like this. This is an ambidextrous sheath, and that you reach in your pocket and put your thumb there, and you pull it out like this. And for me, this knife is too small to draw quickly and have in this grip. Now I can pull it out and carefully put it in this grip, but that's a small handle. They also make an XL version of this, but where I think this excels, I put it in the pocket like this, edge forward, and I reach in the pocket, and this about this much comes out of the pocket. Just pinch and pull it out, and I have this in hand, ready to go. Now, of course, it's ready to go in a tactical sense. If I pull it out like this, usually all I'm doing is turning it around and using it for whatever. But I like it in this. And then when you resheath it, I'm sorry, I like it in this edge forward orientation. And then when you resheath it, you simply follow the clip, and it lands your knife right in there. You don't have to like pull it out from your pocket or anything. Of course, you want to be careful doing it, and you want to spend a little bit of time with the trainer. This is the trainer that it comes with. And so the first day I had this, I carried it around with the trainer and practiced resheathing. And then after a while, I was like, okay, I don't want to get too used to not no stakes here. So I started carrying this the next day. But I will be using this in my self-defense, my MDS classes. This will be the knife I use for a while. This sheath is cool because it has a built-in ferro rod. It's not just a self-defense knife. It's kind of a do-everything pocket fixed blade knife. So it's got a ferro rod and 90-degree spine. And on the back, this is like soft, this is the soft part of hook and loop or Velcro. This is a Velcro flap under which you can stash a money, $100 bill, or just something you want to hide or something you want to keep close and protected, and that's flat. Maybe a key you can keep in there. This thing is very cool. Now, the one issue with this knife is M390 blade steel G10, beautifully made. It is expensive. And I don't know what it costs these days, but I remember when I first learned of the Amtac Northman over a year ago, I looked it up. I was like, ooh, I think I gotta have. I looked it up, and at the time I was like, oh, okay, that's too expensive. But my father, he's at that age where he's just like, okay, let's get the knife, So I'm what am I gonna do? Say no? Discourage that behavior? No, I did accept. And yeah, I think he got one for my brother too. Very, very cool knife. The Amtac Blades Northman. And though it is expensive, it is an excellent blade, excellent blade system, the whole thing. I'd be interested in checking out the XL version. I like the discreetness of this. But the XL version might be better for bigger hands. I prefer a choil over a guard, says Jonathan. Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp as well. A choil or again, like a blade that extends below the plane of the handle. Yo, Bobby, TCNC, let me know that they're going to do another drop of the LVSC around March. Are you going to scoop one up this time? Turner CNC, man, they make some cool stuff. I don't know. Maybe I will. March, huh? Maybe I will. I'd love to get some. They have that other knife that they make that I just saw they had a posting of the other day because they did a whole bunch of sheaths for. That is sort of a pistol grip shape, and it's got a recurved blade on the main edge, and then serrations on the top edge, and then a pistol grip handle. I'd love to get that. They make a Bowie, or they did once. Made a Bowie that I'd love to get. Their stuff is cool. Maybe I need to get them on the show. Chad Carpenter says, what tasks would a tungsten knife be suited for? Seems like it would be brittle, but good. A wicked edge. Tungsten. I don't know. It is brittle. I mean, I know tungsten, they use that as penetrators on bullets, like sniper bullets and stuff like that, but it's very brittle. I know a sniper who had a tungsten wedding ring, and he was bragging about it, and he wanted to show how tough it was, and he threw it on the ground, and it shattered into like a trillion pieces, and he was like, oh. So I think it's kind of like tempered glass. You hit it on the sweet spot, and it's gone, daddy, gone. So I don't know. I don't know about tungsten blade. I don't know. Maybe something very controlled, some sort of very controlled cutting where there's no chance of impact. Maybe scalpel. I don't know. I just don't know. Todd Carr, evening, everyone. Evening, Todd. This is almost good evening to you, sir, because we're about to wrap, as it's almost midnight here on the East Coast. But I did want to, I did show this to you already. Well, I do want to show you this too. This was a recommendation from Dave a while back, but when I was asking for flashlight recommendations, but I got this Nightcore P20iX, and it's a bright light. It is so cool. I love it. It's got a number of different modes. It's got 5 brightness settings, including one that's really low that I like a lot. Like if you're navigating the house late at night and you don't need to blind yourself or produce much light at all. You can get a really low light, and then it goes up to like 4,000 lumens or something crazy like that. You got 3 little glass breakers on the bezel and a really nice sturdy aluminum body, and an automatic, a single, like you can get right to the strobe mode. I love that. I love the idea of this as a self-defense tool. Blind, you can hit them with it, of course, but hopefully they're not even getting that close. Hopefully you can blind and stun someone, or maybe not stun them, but blind them and make them reconsider or back up with a bright light, and then never have to use a gun or never have to use a knife or a baton or anything like that. I mean, that's the best case scenario. I've heard of that happening, but I don't know. I guess best to have a light, but then plenty of other stuff for backup. Am I right? Todd Carr says, just popping in to drop a like and say hi to everyone and hit the like button. Todd Carr, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you had an excellent, I hope you have an excellent new year. Actually, this is a wish to all of you. Thank you all for coming and joining and watching. And thank you for watching over this past year. Of course, that's what this 7-knife giveaway on Wednesday is all about, or between now and Wednesday. But I just want to thank you for coming and sharing your time and sharing your thoughts here. It's so much fun. I love Thursday Night Knives. I love doing it. We've had 3 weeks off sporadically the last month or a month and a half, and it's felt weird. So I'm excited to be back on schedule and, having this conversation, if you will. Be sure to join us on Wednesday for that midweek supplemental. We'll be doing that giveaway, and then on Sunday, looks like we'll have Steve on the show. You know him as Super Steel Steve. Well, he has begun a company making chef's knives, and they look outstanding. And I have one arriving right here on my shores tomorrow. I cannot wait. I saw a video of him cutting an onion with one of his blades before he even put an edge on it. And it was all about that behind the edge geometry. So I'm very, very, very excited. Also, go to theknifejunkie.com/life to check out and then the other merch. Check out these awesome t-shirts Jim's been designing. I mean, he's got a bunch of them now. And make sure that you sweep them up, buy them, represent. They don't all say Knife Junkie. I'm not trying to get you to all go out and represent the Knife Junkie, but represent knives. Jim has created a lot of really cool designs with a lot of funny and cool and affirming messages for the Knife Junkie. All right, everyone. I think that's me. I will see you next week right here. Be sure to check us out on Patreon if you want to help support the show. If not, just come here and join and hit the like button. and subscribe. Why not? All right. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.